guys, I have started putting the valance on. Well, it's actually on. It's all welded up. And I've just got these closing panels that I got from M-Machine. And I'm just stuck a couple of bolts through just to line everything up. I basically punched holes out. And what I've done then is I've just marked them. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to take this back off, and then what I'll do is I'll take a wee bit of material off, a wee bit of paint, and then I'll just plug weld these all the way around. And then after I've done that, I'll decide what I'm welding. If I just weld everything up just so it's sort of nice and sealed, so no water or anything gets under it. Obviously this will all be seam sealed anyway, but yeah, we just batter in. So guys, just been doing a wee bit of fitment. I've had to move my jig forward. Unfortunately, don't have a locking mechanism at the moment, because obviously I want to get the front on. So what we did is I've already welded this side in. As you can see, it's all done. It's probably not exactly where it needs to be, but I'm happy with that. The carver's never 100% anyway. The gaps now here are really quite good. Had to buy a new bonnet. The one I got second hand when I put it onto the car, because it's white, you don't really notice how bad it was, and it was kinked and twisted and all sorts of things. So I had to buy a new bonnet. This side's not too bad. Just need to manoeuvre the bonnet a little bit. Again, these are all just clamped up. This side's not welded. So it's not too bad. We've still got a bit here to go. Had to do a wee bit of jiggery pokery, just because when we placed everything together, it was as if there was not enough material for the wing to actually connect. So we've had to put a wee tiny bit of extra material in there just so it all clamps together and it's nice and flush. Obviously at some point we'll need to get the car primed, so I'll go over all the wee bits and bobs that I just need to cover up in the next couple of days. So little tiny welds and just a little bit of sanding to do, and then what will happen is we'll get this out and we'll get it basically power washed down, get all the dirt and grime and everything off it, and then what we'll do is we'll get it rolled in and we'll get some primer on it over the whole car. And then what I'm going to do, the plan of action is I'm going to do as much of the work on the body as possible. There is work I've already done. We're going to basically put undercoat on it, so I bought some of that Raptor, so we've got all the undercoat to do. The plan of action is possibly to do Raptor in here as well, and in the boot. Basically I want to paint the car as much as possible and leave the outside of the car, and I'll get someone to do just outside the car, which will probably save me a few quid. And they can fix obviously any wee issues that I've missed. But yeah, that's where we are at the moment. Obviously we may have the issues with the wheel arches. Obviously I've got bigger wheels and we fixed these back to what it should be, so most likely this will be for 10-inch wheels. So most likely once we get the subframe on, we can actually see what material will need to come out. But that's for another time. We can also fix that. But yeah guys, look, it's nearly a Mini. So guys, been working on the car, not got much video on it at the moment, but I've been kind of seam sealing everything. Used two different types of seam sealer. One I thought what I'd use is the brushable one. I thought just brush it on. Yeah, that was a pain in the arse. And then I bought Tiger Seal, which was 10 times better. Could smooth it out, so as you can see I've seam sealed. That's actually double seam sealed because I used the painted one first, which was crap, and then I went over again with Tiger Seal. It's much better, and as you can see the car's seam sealed in places. Probably didn't really need to, but what we did is we seamed it and then we sanded it all down. in places probably doesn't really need. Put it all in here and round. Obviously all in the boot, etc. You won't really be able to see much of that. Put it around a lot of the joints, in between the joints, just to try and keep any of the, you can see probably in there, any of the joints, any places where really you're going to get moisture in. The car is looking okay. It's not 100%, it's never going to be, but I'm happy with it. It's my car, I can do what I want with it. These are a little bit high, but they are where they are. It all fits together. It's all looking good just now. All the base is done as well. I'll just put that up. Not got a lock on it at the moment, but as you can see, it's quite well balanced. All seems sealed round all the underneath, and the wheel arches, and the bay. It's all been done. All the boot area. So it seems sealed all the way around, all the way down the bottom there. So yeah, it's been pretty time consuming. Even put a wee bit of seam sealer just down in the guttering. And yeah, it's starting to look like a car now. Whoop whoop. So guys, kind of tried my best to get this this primed, but I was having trouble with the fan on the gun and the pressure. So I blasted on as much as I could at the moment. As you can see, there's loads of runs and stuff like that, but obviously loads of bits I've missed. But there's a partial amount on. It's looking a lot better. Quite a few runs in here. Just sometimes it would squirt out just a little bit more paint, so I just had to reduce the distance as well. Some of it is actually pretty good. It's looking a hell of a lot better. Totally missed this bit and that bit and this whole side. But yeah, we'll get there. But the amount of overspray, you know, look at this. This is just vaporised paint. Yeah, just comes off like dust. Might be a wee bit too warm today actually. Yeah, it's quite warm. But yeah, we'll see. I'll just keep going as best I can. There we go guys. A few more coats on. It's looking pretty good. Had a few issues. I bought a cheap gun, a suction gun, and yeah, not that great to be perfectly honest. Let's just quickly go over. So this is the gun here, and it has obviously the steel canister at the bottom. And what I was finding is the fan, where you would have to turn the fan right in, so it was like a point, before it would actually spray any paint. No matter how much adjustment I did, I was able to get the car done in one coat, but I had quite a few runs because it was intermittently spraying out a lot and then not. So what I did is I went and actually got this gun here, this gravity fed one, Clark, from Machine Mart, and that was brilliant. That was fucking night and day in regards to performance. A nice big fan it had, wasn't going on too thick, and it gave it a much better coat. If I had that at the start, I probably wouldn't have any runs, but you'll see, I don't know whether you'll see them or not, I'll get some runs on the outside of the car. There's quite a few in the inside as well, but a few in the front here, just light ones. But this is nothing that can be sanded out. It's only primer anyway. That's the rain on. Better get the car back in the garage. But yeah, there was a few wee issues. There was a big one in the boot, because I started in the boot and it sprayed out a big glob. So I've got a few wee things to kind of fix. But overall, a lot of this is going to get underseal on it. I've got a wee idea. I'm going to put underseal in quite a lot of places. Well, when I say underseal, what I'm talking about is Raptor. But we'll come back to that shortly. So guys, gave the subframe a little paint again. Decided to just build up some of the suspension and the radius arm here. So as you can see, obviously these need to be under load, so I've just tied them up at the moment. Got the knuckle joints and everything in place. Everything's looking good. Kevin's sitting really well. The consideration is obviously if you continue on putting parts on it and it becomes heavier and heavier and heavier, you have a wee think about that. But yeah, it's another wee bit done.